Hey, I'm Cody, and last December I read 7 books. So join me as I review and rank every single one. Coming in at number 5 is
The Word for World is Forest by Ursula Le Guin. So, this is the first book that I read from absolute literary titan Ursula Le Guin, and I really enjoyed it. This is a sci fi novel written in the 1960s that follows multiple POVs in a story about colonialism and resistance. So, in this story, essentially, Earth has completely run out of its resources, and so has turned to this planet, which is completely covered by forest, in order to meet its demand for wood. So, not only are the humans exploiting the land of this planet, but also the indigenous species that live there, forcing them to work in the lumber mills and provide labor for the human colonists. Essentially, it is the same exact plot as Avatar or Disney's Pocahontas. Where I feel that this book really succeeds is in its theming. Unlike in Avatar or Pocahontas, there is no white savior aspect, and there is no both sidesing of the narrative. This story understands that violence in the face of colonialism is not a choice, but its natural consequence. Kind of making it a very radical, progressive story, not even just for the 1960s, but for today as well. I also quite enjoy the characters. We follow a few. One standout for me was Captain Davidson. He is an alpha space Chad, if you will. He essentially is the human colonist point of view. It's a little bit on the nose, but I really enjoy it. There's nothing he loves more than f***ing women and eating endangered animals. But don't worry, he has a sensitive side. He cries during the national anthem. Basically, the ideal of a man. Additionally, this book employs really beautiful prose. I'll talk more about it later because, spoilers, there is another Ursula Le Guin book on this list, but just trust me, her writing's beautiful. The only things really keeping this book from being higher on the list is that, for one, that really beautiful prose, combined with the fact that this book is almost 60 years old at this point, means that it's not the world's easiest read. And its main issue for me is in its length. It is very short. It won the Hugo Award for Best Novella, so it is barely longer than a short story. What we have is really engaging, but because of its length, it's not able to really explore things too deeply or with very much subtlety. So, even though I really liked what was there, I do wish that there was a little bit more going on. Even with that little bit we had, though, the theming and the prose were so excellent that I do consider this a must read. The Word for World is Forest by Ursula Le Guin gets a 3.75 out of 5.